What is up, the Lions fans? It's your boy Motor City Don P, and we are back here in full effect. And hey, the show must go on. We got to keep it rolling. And I am not Spencer Raxter, so let me go ahead and figure out how that needs to get changed. Let me see here. Okay, we are back. Yeah, we are here on the illustrious patio. You already know what it is, man. So let me know if y'all can hear me. Can you hear me well enough? Is it loud and clear? Let me know in the chat what it is, because unfortunately, my computer has decided to do nothing. So we are here, and we're going to talk about the Detroit Lions today. Zach J says, yes, you can hear me. What up, though, Zach J? I may run in about 10 minutes, man. Once we get rolling, just to see if the computer has done anything. But it is what it is. Okay. Well, one of our illustrious members had told me about 6-7 months ago. 6-7 that he was gonna send me a computer, but it hasn't happened just yet. So we are out here on the patio. You see we got the grill in the back. I'm not using it, but it is what it is. But we gotta go ahead and do the intro the way that we always do the intro, man. Once again, the Motor City Cats R&D back at it. We came to give you stats, not none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic, and that perhaps maybe the most important number of them all, number 3. Make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And you may be asking me, how, Don, how, Mr. P, does one keep their Lions news pragmatic? Well, it's very simple, and I'll tell you right now. Smash like button, subscribe, share, because the show must go on, and because sharing is caring. When you shared this stream with your mothers, your brothers, your uncles, your sisters, your cousins, your mothers, your sisters, your brothers, your uncles, your sisters, your neighbors, cousins, your brothers, your sisters, you name it, then you have indeed cared about those people. We got some things to talk about today, man. We're going to get into what Johnny Mo said about my man Jamo, because again, brother, sister, cousin, auntie, uncle, grandma, grandpa, I was called a madman. I was told that the Detroit Lions didn't give two damns about Jameson Williams getting the football, because no block, no rock. All he got to do is block. All he needs to do is be a decoy. And I said, the ball seer. Okay, with these eyes, I synced it. I said, it's not what you are thinking when you tell me that Jamo doesn't need the ball. Jamo doesn't need to be a part of this offense. F your parlay, this, that, and the other thing. And I've told y'all before, I don't gamble. So I'm not coming from that type of space where we're going to gamble and we're going to do this, that, and the third thing, and we're going to be upset because Jameson Williams isn't getting the ball and I got money riding on the thing. I ain't got money riding on nothing. Okay, I never have any money riding on anything, and that is just the way that it is, and that's the way that it's always going to be. I'm never going to bet. I never have bet. I've never been a gambling man. I know myself. Okay, I was doing crypto during the pandemic, and I was up at the computer like, hey man, can I get some spare change, man? I just need to make this trade right quick, baby. Shaboing, boing, man. I need your crypto in my hand. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was looking like when I was doing crypto, in the pandemic. So I already know what kind of personality I got. I don't need to be betting nothing. So this isn't a Jamo bet gamble situation. No, this is me being the official keeper of the Jamo and wanting my man Jamo to get some burn. I want him to get some run. I don't want him to get some decoy routes. I don't want him to get some clear out routes, because that's all he's been doing. Johnny Morton came out of himself from the horse's mouth. Okay. We're going to read what he said. And I just want y'all to understand exactly what he said. All right. So I made sure, usually I don't read the articles before, but I made sure to just read a little bit of it to make sure that he is saying what he says it is, and it's just not a clickbait headline. So this article comes from Andrew Kulha. All right, Andrew Kulha. I don't know what publication you write for, but it's just from Andrew Kulha. It doesn't say the publication. All right, so it says Lions OC John Morton gets real on wide receiver Jameson Williams' role. Detroit Lions first year offensive coordinator John Morton is not happy with himself. He ain't happy with himself, and a lot of Lions fans ain't happy with him, and especially today, after you see the Miami Dolphins get absolutely obliterated, which we knew was going to happen. Imagine a team in the Baltimore Ravens that started out 1-5 comes back and wins their division and goes to the playoffs, because it's looking like it's very, very possible that's going to happen. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. What's here and there is the fact that after that debacle, after they got beat on national television 28-3, somebody got fired up at the top of the Miami Dolphins food chain. And that person is not the one that I wanted to come in here and maybe, cover some of the blind sites or the blind spots of Johnny Mo. That's not that guy. It was the freaking GM. What the GM had to do with what was going on the field? The GM gets players. Do the Dolphins players all suck? Was he not getting players in there that people want? Just last year, there were Tua fans. Ain't no more Tua fans. Now the GM got to get fired, Chris Greer, right before the trade deadline. What would you do that for? What would you do that for? So now, what happens? Chris Greer ain't there, but Mike McDaniel is still there. How? That's the thing I don't understand. But anyway, we wanted Mike McDaniels in Detroit maybe to come in and, what I'm saying, hey, Johnny, I just wanted you to know, Johnny, I think that you should get Jamo the ball. I think that maybe if you just try to get him the ball on an under route, just run some slants with him, Johnny, because I really think, Johnny, I'm just imagining this is my Mike McDaniel's impression. I don't really know how he talks. I don't listen to him, but it's a little bit of Michael Jackson in there. You know what I mean, Johnny? I just don't think that you're getting Jamo the ball, and when I have these problems with Chim Chim, this is what right, so that's what I wanted to see. But anyway, let's go ahead and get back to what Mr. Johnny Mo had to say. So he's not happy with himself. Says, sure, his offense is ranked third in the league in points per game at 30.7 and 8th in yards per game at 357.3. And yes, Morton has several superstars at his disposal as a play caller. From wideout Amon-Ra St. Brown, 538 yards, 7 touchdowns. Running back Jahmyr Gibbs, 526 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns. And tight end Sam Laporta, 339 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Lions have firepower. One lever that Morton feels he hasn't pulled enough this season, though, is former first-round wide receiver Jameson Williams. Williams does have 17 catches for 289 yards and 2 touchdowns, but Morton took a look at things during the bye week, and he came away believing that he failed the young receiver. He wants to get Williams more targets. Now, did I not say? Because I'm the boss here now. Okay, pause, whatever you want to say. And I'm gonna get to some of y'all comments, but I'm on a Chromebook. Okay, I'm on a Chromebook, so it is what it is. And you'll probably hear some background noise because I'm outside. Okay, this is what I was saying during the bye week. Johnny Mo needs to self-scout, and if he self-scouts and he's honest with himself, he'll come away finding that he has not used Jameson Williams effectively throughout this season. Yes, we are winning games. Yes, we're 5-2. Yes, we have numbers and statistics and everything to back up why this offense is, top tier or whatever you want to call it. But then we also have the eye test. And people like myself, the ball seer, can see that there are cracks in this armor and that things could be a whole lot better. Even Dan Campbell has said the same thing. Even Scotty Montgomery has said the same thing. And now, from the horse's mouth, Johnny Moe has said the same damn thing. See, the ball seer sees, and the ball knowers know, but some of the fans, they just don't get it. But if you ain't a ball seer, I don't expect you to understand. Anyway, he says, so I looked at everything and I failed him. That's what I told him. Morton added, I have to do a better job with that, but it's a two-way street. We definitely looked at that. Okay. So a little subtle dig. Let me throw Jamo under the bus a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's not my fault that I'm just running them on clear out routes. It's not my fault. I'm just using them as a decoy. It's not my fault 100%. But it's a two-way street. You know what I'm saying? Some of it's his fault. Okay, cool. Lions need to target Jameson Williams more in 2025. Williams has top end speed and is a big play waiting to happen. The issue for him in Detroit is that quarterback Jared Goff has a ton of options to work with. St. Brown and Laporta have been his top two favorite options, but Gibbs and running back David Montgomery can also catch the ball out of the backfield. Not only that, but the Lions have to play a style of ball control offense that leans heavily on the run under head coach Dan Campbell. The tougher, the better when it comes to Campbell, and sometimes the type of mentality, that type of mentality doesn't lead to big shot plays down the field. As far as Williams is concerned, he relayed that he and Morton did talk, but he's trying to take it all in stride. So yes, I did see that. So he came to me and expressed to me how he felt, but with me, I really wasn't taking it too far into thinking about it. Williams said, we was winning games and things like that, so I can never get myself too worked up with me getting the ball or me targeting or me getting targeted or things like that. I know it's going to come. It's a long season, but I, Jamo, the official keeper of the Jamo, am getting worked up about it. Get my boy the damn ball, okay? Get him the damn ball. Okay, get my Stephen A. Smith on. It is an atrocity. It is a travesty and a tragedy of justice that Jameson Williams, isn't getting the ball. Get my boy the damn ball or get out the way. Shout out Stephen A. Smith. It's a long season indeed, but the Lions could be missing out on opportunities by not targeting Williams at a high clip. Last season, he caught 58 passes for 1,001 yards and 7 touchdowns. He averaged 17 yards per reception. All right. Andrew Kulha it's kind of a lone wolf here. Something that says Andrew Kulha is probably the only sports writer you know who also doubles as a mortician. Spooky at Kulha Sports. If you're a Somali, you know why that name is very funny. All right, let me get to y'all's comments because I know they're in here. Blah, 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 blah. You know what we do on this show, boy. We flow, boy. Mr. Detroit City says, you know how Mike is keeping his job, putting those capris to work down there in South Florida. Big mistake. Should have fired both like Sheila did. Miami is an unmitigated dumpster fire. Hassanin Mahdi, what is going on, my guy? How are you doing? Hope you're doing fine, and all your Motor City team are fine. Ahmed Hassanin is getting healthy and training hard and getting very hungry. And we will talk about Ahmed in a bit. What we got here? We got my son is dressed as Brian Branch. Why that happened, I don't. Hold on. Got to get back to that. Okay. Popping this one out. All right. My son is dressed as Brian Branch, opened the front door and said, get him. Started flying around Effed up lids. Effed up kids. Give me your candy. Okay. All right. So anyway, that's really what I've got to say about the situation, man. When you see something, say something. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did. That's my responsibility. I synced it. I think that Jamo wasn't getting the rock the way that Jamo needed to get the rock. I said something. Now the coaches are saying something. And Jameson doesn't have to say anything, but just sit there and be professional. And that's what he's done. He's taking it all in stride. If y'all didn't hear the Jamo interview, he was like, they were asking him about the social media post. He said it's because it's just Instagram. He said it's just Instagram. Boy, you all always how it's just Instagram. It's just Instagram. Boy, it's just Instagram. That's what he was saying to him. So he said it had nothing to do with football. People were speculating, oh, why is he posting this stuff? Yada, 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 yada. I blame it on Goff. End of the day, the QB has the ball, says Mr. Detroit City. There have been some plays, if you go back and watch the All 22, there have been some plays when Jameson Williams was open and Goff didn't look his way. I understand. I get it. You've got your favorite target in Amon-Ra St. Brown. You got your security blanket and Sam Laporta. But Goff did say that he needs to be more aggressive. He said he needs to be more aggressive himself. Okay, Mr. Pink. Let's get that in the super chat because that's the rule. If you're a Vikings fan and you want to come in here and you want to talk mess and you want to get it read, it's got to be in the super chat. If it ain't in the super chat, I ain't got nothing for you, buddy. Hold on. Let me also do one more thing, which I neglected to do here. Let's see. I'm not gonna do it now. It's just gonna take away from the show. I was gonna turn subscribers mode only on because Mr. Pink got into my channel and is saying stuff. You know what I'm saying? The greats have overridden what an OC has called. Goff is not a great. This is from Mr. Detroit City. I don't want to get flamed here. As called, Goff is not a great. Lions fans cannot admit, so they have to throw the blame around on Johnny Mo, etc. It's gonna come out that Goff and Wright have something going on behind the scenes. If y'all don't know, Mr. Detroit City is an avid Brock Wright hater, and I don't know why. So they need to give Jamo the damn ball more often than they do. I don't want to see the Lions trading him or doing something stupid. I don't think that will happen, especially since they just paid him. They're not trading him. JJ McCarthy doesn't lose in Michigan. Otay, give me a blue wrench and I'll bounce him. No, it's all good. I don't want them to bounce. I want them to pay their super chats, or I just ignore them. You know what I'm saying? They can come and chat, and generally, if they're getting ignored, they'll leave anyway. All right. So what we are talking about, we got some trade deadline stuff to talk about. We've got some injury report news to talk about, and then we're gonna get into the final breakdown and prediction of what is going to happen between the Detroit Lions and the Vikings. So the trade deadline news, let's go ahead and say Dan Campbell splashed cold water on any of our hopes of getting anybody, because he said he doesn't believe that the Lions will be active at the trade deadline. He said, but he won't be surprised if we are, because he said that Brad has already brought a few people to him as far as talking about trades. Now, here's the issue that we have with trades. Shout out to Hassani Mahdi, Ahmed Hassani's father, who was in here just a few minutes ago, and he said that Ahmed is getting healthy and he's getting hungry. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say about the edge position. Right now, at the very present moment, El Qadim Muhammad, AQM, is going to play versus the Vikings. There was a time throughout this whole situation, the bye week and the practice week leading up to the game, where we didn't know if AQM was going to play. But now that the report has come out, we see that he's not on the injury report with that hamstring, so we know he's going to play. Cool, great, awesome. What happens when he's not able to play? If because it's a hamstring, hamstrings get tricky. You could be feeling good one day and the next day you feel terrible, barely walk, right? So because it's a hamstring issue, it's a soft tissue situation, it bears looking at, it bears monitoring and watching. Now, because it bears monitoring and watching, if AQM is to miss a game, and I hope he doesn't miss any time, but if he is to miss a game, who steps in his place? Well, that man's name right now, that man's name is Tyrus Wheat. If anybody want to tell me who the hell Tyrus Wheat is, Tyrus Wheat is a man that it took him 7 weeks to record a stat for the Detroit Lions. Or not to record a stat, because I don't really know what his stats were before he got a sack and a half. To make an impact, it took him 7 weeks to make an impact. And the reason I don't know what his stats were is because he wasn't getting no sacks. He wasn't getting to the quarterback. Right? Now, we have to caution ourselves because Dan Campbell told us we were good without Zadarius Smith, and we didn't think that he was telling the truth. We thought he was being a capologist on that one. And they are what? Before going into the before week 8, right? Going into the bye, they were ranked third in sacks. They had 23. No one saw that coming, right? No one saw that coming, especially with only Hutch, a non-healthy, non-able to play Aleem McNeil, right? So it was only Hutch and it was AQM. Nobody, there are people, and I still don't understand you people. Bless your heart. I don't know what kind of disease you have, okay? But there are still people who are talking to me about Marcus Davenport as if he's supposed to be a factor. If y'all watch the heavyweights, shout out to the heavies. Today, Spencer Raxer said the thing that I've been saying for weeks about Marcus Davenport. I don't want to see him play before the NFC Championship game because he's only going to give you 2 games at a time. We know this about this man. We know this. Do not activate him off of IR anytime soon. You get to the championship. Maybe in the divisional round, activate him. Because maybe something, you know what I mean? You like, man, we just need a spark. Marcus, go out there and and give us a spark for 5 plays. Pray to God you don't get injured in them 5 plays. But we don't want to see him out there until the NFC Championship game. And the reason we don't want to see him out there until the NFC Championship game is because he gives you 2 games at a time. NFC Championship game, Super Bowl. That's all we need from him. Okay? So he's not a factor in the rotation behind AQM. So much so that he's behind AQM. Marcus Davenport was it first or second round draft pick? Okay. AQM, I believe, was either undrafted or a very, very late round pick. AQM's career year is 6 sacks. Marcus Davenport's career year is 11 sacks in 9 games. Oh, sorry, it was 9. It was 9 sacks in 11 games, I think it was. Okay, 9 sacks in 11 games because he's never gone double digits. 9 sacks in 11 games. Marcus Davenport, if not for the injuries, would be getting the type of money that Aiden Hutchinson is getting, and he wouldn't be a Lion. But because of those injuries and because he can't stay on the field, he's falling behind AQM. And I don't mean to poo-poo AQM. AQM has developed into a very consistent, persistent pass rusher on the opposite side of Hutch. Now he's got Aleem McNeil over there too. So there's a lot of growth and development that can happen, and there's a lot of boosting of stats that can happen with AQM. Cool, great, awesome. We ain't got nobody behind them. So when you talk about trade deadline, I know Shep said some things about, it being disrespectful to the guys that are in the building because everybody on the outside of the building doesn't believe in them. They don't feel like these guys are the ones that you need to have representing us when we go down in the trenches and we're running after the quarterback. That's cool. You can say that all you want, but the fact of the matter is the depth is the depth. And when we look behind AQM, we see Tyrus Wheat. And Tyrus Wheat is in the NFL, so he's talented. Tyrus Wheat is in the NFL, so he has the ability. Tyrus Wheat is better getting to the quarterback than I am. Right? He's better than me. But Tyrus Wheat ain't better than AQM. He ain't better than Hutch. He's not better than a lot of the guys around the NFL. And this is why we're asking you to bring somebody in. Now, Hassani Mahdi says, let me get to Hassani Mahdi. He says Ahmed needs to re-sign and get his feet wet, get some techniques, and to be in football shape. 2 more weeks after re-sign with his culture team, go Lions. Okay, boom. That is exactly my point. So Ahmed Hassani needs to first re-sign, so that's going to take weeks. And then he needs to get reps, and then he needs to get in football shape, and he needs to get healthy. The issue with Ahmed Hassani coming back is not that he can't make an impact on the team. Is how soon can he make an impact? Ahmed's injury took a significant amount of developmental time. His father just told you he needs to get reps. He needs to learn more technique, right? So if we had him from the beginning of the year and now it's week 7 or week 8, and he had been working with coaches in practice every day, and he had been developing in practice every day and getting some game reps, then he'd be much farther along. So then we could say, okay, well, we don't need anyone to be traded for because we have Ahmed Hassani behind AQM, and then we have Tyrus Wheat, who is a fallback for either one of them. I'm going to tell you right now, I think Ahmed Hassani is better than Tyrus Wheat today. Okay? Tyrus Wheat played for the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Jags. Very fitting because he's a Jag. And we are asking you to trade for someone who is slightly above what a Jag is, who is somewhat of a difference maker behind AQM, because AQM has shaped out to be a difference maker. And if you go into, a deep playoff run, which we all expect the Lions to do, you don't want only AQM and Tyrus Wheat. It's just, I'm trying to say it without pooping on him. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to do. All right, let me get to y'all's comments because I know they're piling up. Brock Wright needs to block right. LOL. I honestly love a nice cold cup of water. Yeah, that is good, right? Melvin isn't going to do anything of significance for the trade deadline. It don't need to be significant. It just needs to be better than Tyrus Wheat. That's all I'm saying. It just needs to be better than Tyrus Wheat. Shredded wheat, buckwheat, cream of wheat. That's all I got, right? You don't have Tyrus Wheat. Can't wait to see our Egyptian magician back on the team, hoping he can be a productive rotational player after he's in football shape. Facts. That's what we hope. Who's Davenport? Haven't seen him. Facts. And Shep is sending messages to his defense in these pressures because he knows these reporters have never been in a 2-a-day. I feel you. I love cream of wheat. Yes, cream of wheat is not bad. All right, but that is the trade talk for the day. Listen, Sunday is the second, and there's 2 more days after that. Okay? Sunday, then Monday, Tuesday. The trade deadline is on Tuesday, and if we get past Tuesday without adding a piece, we can't talk about trades no more. Okay? Because that's just what it is. All right. Now let's look into, you know what we do on this show. No, I'm just playing. Let's look into the injury report. All righty. Let's get this going here. The final injury is out, and there are people that are out, and there are people that are in, and we're going to talk about them right now as soon as this page decides to load, which it seems very reluctant to do. Let me see if we can do this again. There we go. Thank you. All right. The injury report, the final injury report is here. So now we have Kirby Joseph out. Craig Reynolds with a hamstring injury out. Malcolm Rodriguez, because of his knee, is out. But the good thing about Malcolm Rodriguez is Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, he was a limited participant in practice. So they've started his clock, and he is getting back to football action. So we'll see. Taylor Decker is questionable. Dan Campbell is expecting him to play against the Vikings. So he's questionable, but expected to play. Avonte Maddox, questionable with that hamstring. See, this is why we talk about hamstrings. Hamstrings keep you out, man. They keep you out. He's questionable, so we'll see. Sione Vake is finally questionable instead of doubtful. Daniel Thomas. Okay, so I remember Daniel Thomas. Yeah, okay, from training camp. I think he broke his arm or forearm or something. He is questionable. Okay. Terrion Arnold, no distinction. Al-Qadim Muhammad, no distinction. So they're not even on the injury report. So this is good news with Terrion Arnold, El-Qadim Muhammad. The most concerning news, I think, here is Kirby Joseph. What is going on with that knee? What is he dealing with? I hope it's not something that puts the season in jeopardy for him, because obviously Kirby Joseph is always balling. But now you've missed the Buccaneers game, then the bye week, then you're gonna miss the Vikings game. And I know what's happening with the Vikings right now. The popular pick is for the Detroit Lions to steamroll the Minnesota Vikings, and it's a home game and all these things. So that's what people are saying. I think Vegas has the Detroit Lions is -9 or something like that, so they're going to win by 9 points or whatever the case may be. I've seen people pick the Detroit Lions to win by 32 points. I've seen people pick the Lions to win by 26. I've seen people pick them to win by 15, but that's really as far as it goes. Nobody's saying 9-10. Nobody's saying any of that. So we'll see what happens. But y'all know me. It's a divisional opponent. And I try really hard against divisional opponents to not hit what would you call it? To not hit it's the opposite of the panic button, the early celebration button, right? To not be sitting up here picking a blowout against a divisional opponent. Because if there's anybody harder to predict a blowout against, it is it's not existent. There's no one harder to pick a blowout win against than a divisional opponent. We know them too well. We've been playing this same coaching staff for the last 3 years. Okay. KOC is a good coach, but he turns into a Muppet when he stands across from Dan Campbell. Brian Flores is a good coach, but he's not great against Jared Goff. Jared Goff is able to manipulate his defense, get through those blitzes, all the stuff that he loves to do. So I don't think that it is going to be a close contest. I don't know how much of a contest it will be, but the Minnesota Vikings have proven that they're not able to cover both the running back and other options out there. They're just not, Van Ginkel, I think, is gone. So he's not gonna play. Let's see the injury report from the Viking side. Because they're both up there. All right. Let's see. That looks like purple. And here we go. Vikings injury report, Andrew Van Ginkel ready to go. So I was wrong. Andrew Van Ginkel is ready to go, listed as questionable versus the Lions. So Andrew Van Ginkel is not out. So it looks like they're going to have a are you doing this right now? The Minnesota Star Tribune doesn't want me to see. The Minnesota Star Tribune wants me to pay to see the damn injury report. Get out of my face, bro. That's crazy. All right, so we got the Minnesota Vikings on SI. That's free. Let's go ahead and see if they just have the straight up injury report. Okay, so CJ Ham out. Oh, come on, man. Okay, I'm gonna say that one last. CJ Ham is out. Josh Oliver is out. Questionable: Christian Darrisaw, Josh Metellus, Brian O'Neill, Andrew Van Ginkel. So it looks like they're gonna have their two tackles back, which is gonna be huge for JJ McCarthy. But I don't know what kind of timing and rhythm that they have with JJ McCarthy, and so we'll see, because we're gonna make him very uncomfortable in the pocket. He's gonna have to step up a lot. He's gonna have to go laterally a lot. I don't think he's just going to be able to sit there like a normal person or a normal team, a normal quarterback, and just do what he wants. No, I think he's going to be under pressure and under duress for the entire time. So the thing that I was reacting to, y'all want to take a guess? Y'all want to take a guess? I'll look at y'all's comments for a second while y'all guess. There's some injury news for the Vikings that made me upset. What do y'all think that is? All right. Who needs a GM like Howie Roseman? Someone that's going to say, we are close, and so go get the guys he needs to finish. Pause. Yeah, that was a very pausable moment right there. Yeah, who needs a Howie Roseman type of guy? Nobody needs that. Nobody needs that. Why would you want that? Why would you want a Howie Roseman type of guy? I don't know. What up, though? Robert Stevens. Greetings from Arizona. Greetings from Australia. Jamo about to ball out on Sunday. I can't wait. What up, though? Space Monkey Mafia. Let's hope. Give the man his targets. Right. Free Jamo. What up, though? Big Wolf Status. Big Wolf Status is back. Riggedy Row is coming. Africa Bambata and the Zulu Nation. Hashtag if you know, use the hashtag. They ruled out Kirby. They did rule out Kirby. Kirby is not going to be playing. Of course. The cat gets out and then he wants to come over here and scratch on the carpet, just making a bunch of noise. I don't even know how he got out. It's good news if Arnold is out. We better with him off the field, yo. Come on now. Come on, but he's not out. Rodrigo coming back is great. He always good for a TFL sack or INT. Facts. So says TaylorMade Media. Facts. He said Ahmed got the injury in the third game of the preseason. He is smart, sponge, athletic. You have a heart, and he's hungry and young and fresh. Right. And no doubt. But what I'm saying is he just lost a lot of time. That's all. And he's a rookie. And he went to a small school. So he just needs time to develop. That's all. You know. The trade deadline is in a few days. So we're just trying to see, what is it, 5 days? So we just want to see who's going to be able to step up and step in and get traded to the Lions. That's all. There you go. There you go. Vikings game plan could be to keep the Lions off the field. I don't know how they're going to do that. I need a test down. Whole lot of occult worship going on in the streets tonight. Be safe, everyone. They're doing that over here, bro. It looks I saw kids trick-or-treating yesterday during the daylight, which was weird. This is what I was upset about. We're talking about getting Jamo the ball. Who better than to help us get Jamo the ball than one Jeffrey Namumbo Ohel Nokuda? All of the smoke I wanted. I wanted all of the smoke. I came back to the NFC North because I wanted the smoke. I wanted to play against the Detroit Lions and show them what they was missing. That was my mindset. Jeffrey Namumbo Ohel Nokuda. I just wanted all the smoke. I had so many offers, but I wanted to come back to the NFC North because I wanted all the smoke. I wanted to play them twice a year. I wanted to punish them and let them know what it felt like to win 6 times in a row, which hasn't happened ever. That's what I wanted to do. And then when it came time to play them, I was injured. Surprise, surprise, ladies and gentlemen. See, what happens with Jeffrey Namumbo Ohel Nokuda is when he starts getting burnt and beat, which is early and often, he starts acting like he was injured. That's what he does. What up, though? Here's Johnny. Brent DeWitt says, I'm so bummed that Okuda is not playing. That was 2 TDs for Jamo, LOL. Facts. I'm upset about that, man. I'm mad, y'all. All right. Now, you know what we doing. I love that. Shout out Marcellus Wiley. You know what we do on this show, boy. We flow, boy. Score predictions. What's gonna happen? Put your score predictions in the chat. Listen, I do not fall into the predicting of the blowouts for divisional games, divisional opponents. Everybody seems to think that the Minnesota Vikings don't have a chance. And I won't go as far as to say that they don't have a chance. I would just say it's highly, 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 highly unlikely. It's highly unlikely that the Minnesota Vikings have a chance against the Detroit Lions. And here's why. Remember, I told you guys before, and I've been saying this throughout the NFC North report that I do. I probably should post the Vikings week 8. It's been a very hectic week for me. But here's why. I've been saying that Brian Flores' defense isn't looking the same blitz heavy machine as it has been in the past. And I believed initially that Brian Flores was mixing up his defense because he's trying to become a head coach. So he wants to be able to show all these coaches, all these organizations that he should be the guy. Okay. Now, I don't think that. I think that he's been doing that because he's got to figure out a way to beat these Detroit Lions. Okay. Here's a grown man, and he is often bested by another grown man in Jared Goff. So what he is doing is he is trying to adjust things so that he can finally beat Jared Goff. Because I don't know that they've won one game since Brian Flores became the defensive coordinator against the Detroit Lions. I know if they have, it's been only one. Like I said, we are going for a 6th straight win in the series against the Minnesota Vikings. A 6th straight win. Do you know what that means? That will be 3 whole years worth of beating the Vikings back to back, to back, to back, to back, to back. You want me to say that again? Back to back. That's 2. To back to back. That's 4. To back, that's 6. That's what we have the opportunity to do. And I believe that the Detroit Lions will do that. I do believe that J.J. McCarthy was benched. I believe he was benched. I believe it was a soft benching. Because initially they said that J.J. McCarthy had a high ankle sprain and he would be out 2 to 4 weeks. Well, I've never seen a high ankle sprain heal in 2 to 4 weeks. Maybe 4 weeks, maybe. It's generally the prognosis is generally 4 to 6 weeks. Okay? With 4 being the starter. So if 4 is the starting point in most high ankle sprain injuries, sometimes it depends on the severity. Sometimes the starting point is 6. Okay? So if 4 is the starting point, then what? What's going to happen? Okay? I don't think J.J. McCarthy was that injured, but unfortunately okay, so I'm this is going to sound a little bit shady, so I'm not going to say it this way. Unfortunately for the Minnesota Vikings, Carson Wentz was injured. But if he is going to be injured and he's going to be playing the way that he was playing, you still want him to mentor Kyle. You still want him to mentor. What's his name? J.J. McCarthy, right? You still want him to mentor J.J. McCarthy to teach him how to be a professional, even though Carson Wentz isn't very good. Okay, so now Carson Wentz is injured for the year. I mean, I know there was the shot of him crying over on the sideline and just going through it and all these other things. And they were like, oh, the teammates weren't messing with him. The athletic trainers weren't coming over to talk to him. The coaches didn't say nothing. Okay, cool. He's bad at football. There's no way that I could spin this. I had something. It was going somewhere, and I was talking about mentorship and veteran leadership, but it's none of that. None of that makes any sense. None of that makes any difference right now when we're talking about J.J. McCarthy learning from someone. They were willing to ride Carson Wentz until the wheels fell off, and the wheels did fall off. Okay, so that's just what that is. With Aleem McNeil being back healthy, with Aiden Hutchinson being here healthy, AQM healthy, where is the protection coming from? Where is the protection for JJ McCarthy coming from? I know Christian Darrisaw is good to go. What's the other dude's name? I forget his name. Their other tackle. I just read it. Anyway, their other tackle is good to go. But even when they had both tackles in the game, they weren't doing a great job of protecting the quarterback. Carson Wentz got sacked into hell, and he was playing behind a backup offensive line, and JJ McCarthy wasn't protected well. It's just not a recipe for success. So now that you have Aleem McNeil back, you've got Hutch, you've got AQM, who's right behind Hutch in sacks on the team. Hutch has 6. It should be 9. He's got 6. AQM's got 5. And we saw what kind of impact Aleem McNeil had immediately off the bat when he came into the game before the bye, right? So with all these things stacked up against the Minnesota Vikings, with Amik Robertson going up against Justin Jefferson, now we can legit honestly say that Amik Robertson shut down Justin Jefferson all by himself. With all of these things happening, the only thing that I'm sad about is that Kirby Joseph won't get a chance to intercept JJ McCarthy. Okay? Unless he climbs in a tree. Is Kirby going to the game? Is Kirby going to the game? He won't be able to accept. I mean, if he's at the game, if he's on the sidelines, he'll be able to intercept JJ McCarthy because he might throw him one out of bounds. But that is what that is. I feel like the score, we're going to get Jamo involved, hopefully. I feel like that's going to stretch the field, and that's just going to open up the door. So I'm going to say Detroit Lions 35, Minnesota Vikings 7. That is my score prediction. Let me know what you think in the chat. Minnesota Vikings 7, Detroit Lions 35. All right. High school football team up 42-0 at half versus Lincoln Park in the playoff game tonight. See, that's crazy. You're in the playoffs and you're getting beaten 42-0. Who Levi is going to go off on Skull Nation? Who's Levi? We only got Levi Onwuzurike. He ain't going off nowhere. My predictions for the Vikings game: 28-21 Lions win. All right, I respect that. That's respectable. I went out of character and said 35-7. 42-17 Lions. Okay. Lions 32, Vikings 6. Okay. Robert Stevens. I'm sorry. I ain't doing that one. Who cares about Okuda? Nobody cares about him, but I want him to play. I want him to play because he had all that to talk about. Come get this smoke, bro. Come get it. Also, the Lions are 3-0 at home this season. He just better get healthy enough to wash my car here soon. 31-9. Good guys. If the Vikings couldn't score more than 9 points last year on last year's defense, I don't see it happening Sunday. So you want an identical score. Rumor has it Okuda is transitioning to cheerleader over there in Minnesota. Oh, it wouldn't take much. It wouldn't take much. Mac. Okay. It's like Levi's still on IR. You guys have to smash the like button. It's only 9. Yes, please do smash the like button, guys. I would appreciate that. You know, that's how you keep your Lions news pragmatic. Vikings are in trouble, Skull. Let me see. Carlson Marauders, Class A team 9-0. Let's see here. Wouldn't take much. Skull and vomit faces. All right. So now, mailbag. What you want to do? What you want to do when they reading you? Mailbag. Snick. Mailbag. Get your mailbag questions in. Get them in. Bask in it. All right. I'm out here. The sun has come out. Beating down on the brow. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to get it. Get these mailbag questions in. So we can get on up out of here. What does skull even mean? Are they talking about skull, the chewing tobacco? No, it is a Viking term. Yes, it's a Viking term from back in Scandinavia. I have pictures of myself at the Viking museum in Denmark. And I also went on a Vikingskibne, which is Danish for Viking ship. So yes, but it's a Viking term. Mailbag, how many Lions will have a touchdown Sunday? Ooh, good question. Let's see. Let's say five. Let's say Jamo, Gibbs, Monty, Amon-Ra, Laporta. I'm going with the five. The five weapons. Play football on the, what is that? Field? I think that's a typo. Videos loading, blue and silver, baby. Let's go. Blue. All right. Oh, we've seen the pics, Don. They're all over the internet since the leak. There's been no leak. There has been no leak, my guy. Robert Stevens says 4. Okay. Oh, okay. Since 11. Okay. Football since 11. All right. I got you. Mailbag. How likely is it that Scotty Montgomery put a bug in Johnny Moe's ear about what Jameson Williams told him about not getting touches? I don't know. I don't think it's very likely. I just think when you self-scout, I can't be like, I'm not in the building. I'm not in the room. And I can look at it, and because I'm the ball seer, I can look at it on TV and say something's off. So if I can look at it on TV, just from the TV copy, the TV copy, and say something's off, why isn't Jamo getting the ball? Why isn't he getting the opportunities? And you can recognize that straight off hand, okay, then it shouldn't take someone that long to notice what's been going on. All right. Okay. I don't have any videos either. MB, if we know that Jared Goff only has one throw a season over 30 yards and he specializes in 5-yard routes, what kind of routes does he expect Jameson Williams to run? 8-yard routes? I'd love to see Jameson Williams run 5-yard routes and 8-yard routes, 2-yard routes, because I want to get the ball in his hand. I don't want them having to sit back and pat the ball and wait for the coverage to come, the route to break open, making it, more difficult for the offensive line to hold their blocks, which makes it more likely that Jared Goff is going to get sacked. I don't want to see all that. I just want to see some creativity and some ingenuity and how you're getting Jameson Williams the ball. Stop running him on decoy routes and clear out routes and all this other stuff, and actually involve him in your offense, right? Because he's good enough to be that. You paid him to be that. So let him do what you said that he was supposed to be here to do. That's all. JSJ says every time he forces it to him, it's a pick or hard catch for Jamo. So don't force it. The way that you don't force it is, as I said, run him on shorter routes. Run him in the middle of the field, right? Have him run crossers with Amon Ra. Those types of things. It's simple. You can get it to him. The term is scowl. That means cheers. So you're telling me that they don't even know how to spell the term? Well, it's hard to spell it. Like, if you could read it in English as SKOL, and they'll probably, and that's probably the reason they spell it SKOL, because this term that you are saying is probably pronounced in such a way that they're trying to use. Must be that Minnesota education. It's possible, right? Right? So it just means cheer. Cheers! 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 I mean, it makes sense. Makes sense. They're at a football game. Peace out. Thanks for the show. No problem, Robert Stevenson. It is hot. Love you too. Here's Johnny. All right. Let me go ahead. If we don't have any more mailbags, you know what we do on this show, boy. We go, boy. But before we go, boy, we got to check in on your dough, boy. So hopefully all y'all have a great job. Have a great weekend getting money. I can't finish that one either. I cannot finish that. Okay, this is the final mailbag question. Chances Brad grabs an OT because of Decker's uncertainty. Goff goes down. We're screwed. No. If you're gonna get an OT from a trade, it's gonna be what you have in Dan Skipper or a lesser person. Unless it's just somebody who's in a situation where they're unhappy, and it's a situation we're not monitoring, right? Somebody's unhappy, someone wants to get out, and the Lions come in and say, "Hey, I got a 6th rounder for you," and you're like, "Here, just take them," because that's what NFL trades are. Here, just take them. You got a 6th rounder for me? Okay, I'll take that. You just take this guy. You got a 7th rounder for me? Okay, I'll take that. You just take this guy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Skull, scowl, both make me ill. Mailbag Dodgers tonight. I don't know, man. I don't know. They're still playing. What game is it? I don't know. Skipper or less doesn't make me feel fuzzy. LOL. Facts. I golf with a wealthy Vikes fan who lives on Gross Isle. He's depressed. I would be depressed too if I was a Vikings fan. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here. Probably get a little bit of a nap before I get back out to work. Working all night now. I got to work all day. You know what it is. But once again, the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. We came to give you stats, none of that static. Whatever you do, want to make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. Make sure you join us here because we're gonna be here for that game on Sunday at 1 p.m. And it is what it is. So we shall see you then. Peace.